Let's bring in former House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Kevin Brady, who was instrumental in framing and passing the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Kevin Brady, Chairman, great to see you, sir. What is afoot here?
Good to see you, Dagan. Thanks.
What is afoot here with President Trump on Truth Social and this afternoon, at least seeming open to raising taxes on the highest earners in this country? You dealt with this before the 2017 Tax Cuts Act was passed. What is going on here?
Yes, so it's surprising because lowering those tax rates drove the economy and paychecks in a record way, and President Trump has a lot to be proud of. Raising that rate, that is the rate that small businesses pay their taxes on. So you got millions of small businesses across America that drive growth that would be hurt. It would undermine the president's first ever small business tax deduction, hugely popular. And then more, as importantly for the economy, this top rate, these are the investors, Americans most likely not to consume, but to reinvest back in the economy, whether it's launching a new business or funding a new expansion. And so economically, it's very damaging. The other issue, Dagan, really is political in the sense that Republicans ran to lower taxes or keep them low, not raise them. And I honestly, involved in a lot of campaigns, I saw no Republican members of Congress running for elections saying, I want to restore the Obama-Biden tax rates. It just seems to go against our whole philosophy on whose money is it, the government's or yours.
Mr. Chairman, I'm wondering what you think is going to be most persuasive to the president to say, knock it off to anyone in the House or the Senate who is tempted to punish job creators. It's hard for me to believe that, especially having been in business, he thinks the country would really be better off taking more money from job creators and highly successful people and giving it to the federal bureaucracy. But I'm wondering what the best argument is. Is it about all the jobs that are in those small businesses that file under the individual code?
I think it is. He cares about small businesses, and he cares about working families, raising this rate, on those businesses and on those who invest in America. That's going to hurt the very people he cares most about. And the truth is, look, we all want the strongest Trump economy in the world possible. Raising those rates really harms that goal.
Mr. Chairman, all right, my hair catches on fire, and so do my pants, with some frequency. But nothing has made me as angry as the rhino Republicans in New York and these parts who are advocating and digging their heels in about raising the cap on the state and local tax deduction. At least these four, Stefanik, Garbarino, LaLota, and Mike Lawler, have all come together and said, it's $10,000 cap on the state and local tax deduction, which you put in place. They have said to the $30,000 cap on the state and local tax deduction, which would cost $500 billion over 10 years, that it's insulting. So before we get your reaction, here's what President Trump said about the rest of America subsidizing a few high-tax states.
It's only because those states are behind, very badly behind, and those people were affected very badly. And, the sad part is oftentimes they were affected badly because you had bad management in those states, like in California with Newsom and, people. So you had some bad management. But that's being worked on now, and they may do a piece one way or the other. It's a very complex issue, but I think it's being worked out. I think it's going to be. It has not been settled yet, but they'll settle it up pretty quickly.
That $10,000 cap was the pay-for to cut taxes for middle-class Americans. And those people want us, the rest of America, to subsidize the kleptocrats who run these loser blue states, Kevin Brady.
Well, first, the president's right. These states brutally tax their small businesses and families, and that's where the problem is. Secondly, SALT is the biggest single subsidy in all of government on the individual tax code. Look, rural communities subsidize cities, those who don't itemize subsidize the more well-to-do, red states, blue states. So our belief was, look, why doesn't everyone just pay their own state and local taxes? The $10,000 cap is fair. We doubled the average SALT
really
deduction across the country to make that happen.
But shouldn't it really be zero? I mean, when we talk about bad management, it's because people in New Jersey, New York, California voted these clowns into office. Shouldn't they pay for the consequences of their decisions?
I've always thought everyone should just pay their own taxes. You know, you choose where you live and you work. You choose your elected officials. You may not like them, but you do. So it doesn't make sense to subsidize everybody. The $10,000 cap is very fair. I worry, look, the $30,000 number, that is a huge number. And I understand members of Congress need to fight for their district and their beliefs. Absolutely respect that. But these are the dollars that are going to middle-class families and small businesses.
Mr. Chairman, it's fantastic to see you. Kevin Brady.